Hi everyone, welcome to the Ever-Seeking Empath. I'm a reader who uses tarot, oracle, and charms, and today's reading is actually just going to be some general advice for you this week. So, we've got a bit of a book theme going. I've got these kind of little book and reading oriented buttons. We've got this little kind of box for gift cards here, but it says there is no enjoyment like reading, which is a Jane Austen quote I love because I have always been a big reader. I love to read, and I just wanted to see kind of what your stories are looking like at this point in time. So before we get started, I do want to remind everyone that this will be a general reading, so it might not resonate for everybody. So just take the messages that you feel are meant for you and meant for your situation and disregard the rest. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so, because it really does help the channel, and then you get to see when I've posted new content. And thank you so much to those of you who have already subscribed. I really appreciate it so much. So yeah, we've got three piles here today. Pile one is this button that says the book was better, which I feel is almost always true. Pile two is I like big books and I cannot lie, which I love. And then pile three is I'd rather be reading. So just let your intuition guide you to a pile. I'm going to put the timestamps in the description and in the comments below so you can get right to your pile. And we're going to get started now with pile number one. Hi pile one. So if you chose the first button that says the book was better, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's just kind of figure out what's going on in your story right now. What general advice do the cards have for you? For your tarot, you have the Three of Cups, Seven of Wands, and Strength. So I feel like you're definitely just pushing through right now. You're very resilient. I think that you've had to utilize your resilience a lot. You might have been dealing with a lot of stress at the moment because the Seven of Wands is really fighting through whatever is going on in your life, feeling maybe like you're alone, it's you against the world, and just feeling like you have to keep going, and you're very determined to make things happen. I think that that's really kind of the focus of your universe at the moment. And with the Strength card, that's more resilience, that's inner strength, that's being courageous. Notice how she's wrestling this creature here. So yeah, I feel like you're definitely a very resilient, determined person, and you're really trying to fight your way through. But I feel like you're getting a reminder to not feel like you have to do everything alone, because you have the Three of Cups here. So that's your soul family, that's your kindred spirits, that's getting together with people you love and who love you. That's making time for joy and fun. So I think that you might be needing a little bit more balance in your life, because I feel like you've probably been just fighting the same fight for a long time, and you really need to get maybe some other people, allow other people in to, if not help you, at least talk about what you're going through, to kind of vent a bit, or just to get away from whatever is stressing you out, because I do feel like you're under a lot of stress right now. But let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have Sundress, Do It For You, number 41. So yeah, I think you're definitely in the position of trying to achieve things for yourself. You're wanting to make yourself feel better. I think that you really want to prove to yourself that you can do it, that you can achieve your goals. And then you have Homeward, Take Yourself Out on a Date, number 42. So I feel like you do need to set aside some time to really treat yourself and to congratulate yourself and pat yourself on the back for all of the work that you've put in so far, because I do feel like many of you just are work and then you sleep and then work and sleep, and that's pretty much all your life is right now. So I think that you really do need to make some time to take a break, do things that you enjoy, get together with people that you love. And if you can't do that right now, just, yeah, take yourself out on a date. Do things that you enjoy just for you. And that's kind of with the Do It For You. I think that you need to make sure that you're balancing that too, because if you burn yourself out, then you can't get anything else done. So just make sure that you're keeping yourself in a little bit more of a state of balance. You have Scared to Fly, The Right Moment, Sensing Out the Right Timing, and that's number 18. So I feel like some of you might be like contemplating a new move into something new, like whether that's an actual move like relocation, or like a career change, or jumping into the dating scene again, or just changing your relationship status somehow, whether that's getting together with someone or breaking up with someone. That could be resonating with many of you. But I think a lot of you are trying to figure out if you should make this leap into the unknown or not, because it just looks like she's holding back, and she wants to fly. I mean, there's definitely this energy of change here because we've got all the fall leaves kind of flying around. And I think she's definitely wanting that, but she's scared because standing in this tree is safe. And she just needs to make sure that she trusts her wings. So I think that that's kind of where you're at right now, is you need to make sure that you're trusting yourself. But this is your choice. I do feel like you have a choice here. This isn't something that you're going to get forced into jumping into. You can keep the status quo as it is right now. But this is saying, if you figure out the right timing and jump in, you might be rewarded for that. You have teacher. So I feel like a lot of you might have a mentor right now who's possibly helping you out. Maybe that's one of these people in your soul family here. Some of you might actually be teachers or have an actual teacher who is helping you out, or who's kind of suggesting a new path for you, maybe kind of suggesting what they think you would be good at, or kind of encouraging you to make a career change or a change in like major or concentration or something like that. But I feel like overall, just trust those people around you who are wiser than you, who have advice to share, who maybe have some more life experience than you, or at least more experience in a particular realm of life. Because I feel like a lot of you do have a lot of trouble accepting advice, accepting help from people. You want to prove to yourself that you can do it all alone. And the thing is, accepting help or advice from someone doesn't mean you can't do it alone. It just means, they've already gone through that. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every time. You don't have to try to, invent fire from scratch. You've already got people who have done that, and you can just build on what they've already done, and that allows everybody to go farther in the end. You have traveling lightly, simplify your life. So I think many of you are definitely contemplating leaving something behind, letting go of some things. Maybe if you are moving or relocating, you're trying to figure out if you want to leave where you are, if you want to leave certain things behind, if you want to downsize, if you want to get rid of some stuff. Maybe you're trying to be more minimalist. But otherwise, if that's not resonating, I think it's just kind of a spiritual minimalism that you're aiming for, that you want to clear away the people who don't work for you anymore. You're trying to clear away what doesn't work for you in career or school or hobbies, and just things that aren't bringing you joy or fulfillment anymore. It's time to kind of take inventory of your life and really figure out what you want to take with you and what is best to leave behind. You have nothing is yet set in stone, mutable moon. So yeah, I definitely feel like this is the result of this situation is very dependent on the choices you make. So if you are contemplating this move, I think that is going to end you in a very different place than if you stay kind of stagnant. If you maintain the status quo, that's going to take you somewhere else. I don't think that there is necessarily a wrong choice here, but you have to figure out what feels best for you, what's most fulfilling, and try not to hold back based on what you feel like you can or can't do. But I think that you will find a way to make it work no matter what, because you are this very resilient, determined person. But you just have to make the choice of what is right for you. Really listen to your intuition and figure out what feels where are you feeling that pull? Because I feel like we're seeing the waves here, and I feel like a lot of you are just in this kind of stormy sea right now, where it just feels very like you can't get your head above water. I think a lot of you are dealing with a lot of inner turmoil at the moment, and I think it's important to figure out a way to still yourself, to connect with your intuition so that you know what is best for you. And then once you've made that choice, then you can figure out a way to make it happen. You have Magic Stream, number 18. So you've got a couple number 18s here, because Scared to Fly is also a number 18. So that might be a number popping up for many of you. But this also has to do with just every choice you make affecting choices in the future. There's no, past, present, and future are not separate entities. They are all connected, and recognizing that your past has led you here, and then the choices you make from here on out are going to affect your future, but it's all connected. So I think that's something that a lot of you are recognizing, and maybe that's keeping you kind of held back, is that you're realizing the choices you make are going to affect your future and you don't want to make the wrong choice. But I think this is also saying there isn't necessarily a wrong choice. You just have to figure out what's right for you. I think sometimes the universe kind of compensates around us if there's something that really we're meant to do or wanting to do and you can't make it happen this way, there's going to be another path opening up over here. But you just have to figure out, is this a time to kind of go with the flow and just let the stream take you where it will, or is this a time to get out your oars and start paddling in the direction you want to go in? What do you really want? Number 27. So yeah, I think that that's really where a lot of you are right now, is you're in this period of trying to figure out what you really want. And because you're going through so much at the moment, you don't even have the time to think about it, or you're maybe feeling a bit selfish for trying to figure out what you really want. Maybe you are the type to really work for other people, but you've got a lot of cards here who are saying, do it for you. You know, it's important to make sure that you're prioritizing yourself as well. Even if you have other people who are dependent on you, other responsibilities, it's important to make sure that you are also honoring your truth and acknowledging your desires and wishes and what will most fulfill you as well. So I do think that you really do need to take some time to just think about what you want. And if that's going to require talking to a mentor or a teacher or someone who really knows you well, then that's what you've got to do. So just make sure that you are kind of taking the time to figure that out. I think a lot of you are at this crossroads here, because there's this crossroads that it just looks like you're trying to figure out, what way to go, that you're in the middle here and you can go in any direction and you have no idea what to do. So just make sure that you kind of do your research, and I feel like there's going to be a union of head and heart here, that you have to figure out what's your soul telling you and then how to make it happen logistically. And then you have shift the way to new potential, number 29. So yeah, I think a lot of you are really contemplating this big shift where you want to start anew, you want to start fresh. I think that you're scared of this because you have no idea what that will take. I'm looking at the kind of difference between these two cards, that the image on this one is very cut and dry, and I feel like maybe that's the world you've been living in, is very, you have one of these choices and you have to pick one and then that's the path you're down. But here we've got this image that's a lot more convoluted, and it's very, it's the spiral in here, and you can't see all the lines in the middle here. You don't know exactly where it's taking you, or, you're just feeling like once you kind of go down this, it's going to kind of suck you in and you have no idea what that's going to result in. But sometimes I think you do need to take that leap of faith and just see what happens, trusting your future self and your present self to be able to work out these problems as they arise. You will find the solutions that you need, but just I think that you need to figure out, what direction to aim in, because I think right now your energy is very torn, and that's why maybe you're not feeling a lot of movement or feeling like you're making any headway towards your goals. And then finally, your love card is chemistry, number 28. So that's, I thought we had another 28 here, but I guess not. But yeah, so you've got chemistry here. So I feel like there might be somebody in your life that you've got some chemistry with. I feel like a lot of you might even have kind of a conversational chemistry with someone, like some really good, witty banter with somebody. So that might be something that you're trying to figure out whether or not to pursue. Maybe some of you are contemplating leaving a situation where there is not this chemistry, and you really want to only hold out for someone that you have that chemistry with. This could also refer to friend groups as well, because we've got that 3 of Cups. So a lot of you might be trying to figure out if you can find a better group of friends who you just feel like you click with. I think that there's this energy here just permeating your whole reading, that you are not really feeling all that fulfilled or connected to where you're at in your life right now, and you're trying to figure out a way to move into a life where you feel like you fit. Because I think a lot of you are just feeling very much like you're chipping away at things, but you're not seeing any movement. You don't feel like you're growing. You just feel very stagnant and kind of stuck, even though you're putting in all this effort. But it's like being on a hamster wheel, you put in all this effort, but you're not going anywhere. But I want to see what your charms have to say. For some more detailed information, this is usually where we get some extra details. So we're using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So maybe what is at the center of your life right now, or where you need to focus your energy. So group 1, just some general advice. All right, so in the heart today, we've got the fox. So that has to do with cunning, and thinking on your feet is really what I think of with the fox. So I feel like a lot of you really are hesitant to go down a new path because you feel like you'd have to really adapt quickly. You don't really know what's coming, so you'd have to be able to change your ways quickly and be able to take on whatever just heads your way without being able to prepare for it. I wonder if a lot of you are the type that want to be very, very prepared before you embark on a new endeavor. And being prepared is great, but you can't prepare for every possible outcome. You can go in having done the best that you can up to that point, but then trust yourself to be able to take on these problems as they arise. And then you do have this mermaid here too. So she's obviously got kind of the like the disconnected body here. So I feel like some of you, I'm getting like the Little Mermaid vibes where you're not feeling like you fit in your environment, because you can see here it almost looks like she's got legs kind of within this tail. So maybe you are feeling like you're between worlds a little bit right now, where you're kind of in this depth in the sea right now where you've been your whole life, but you really want to be human, you know, like how she wants to go up to the surface and be human and be able to walk around on the shore. And I feel like a lot of you are kind of in that right now, where you dream about that and you want that, but you don't know how to get there. You're not sure if that would give you the happiness or the fulfillment that you're looking for. So I think that that's something a lot of you need to contemplate, is what are you willing to do to make yourself feel fulfilled? What can you do to make that happen? I'm going to flip some of these charms over so that we can kind of get a better overview of what we're working with here. Yeah, so I think you've only got one zodiac sign that's popping up for you, but you've got a few words here as well. So some of you might be very like language oriented, which I think a lot of you would really benefit from talking to some loved ones or friends or family or mentors, just because I think a lot of them are going to have some very valuable advice for you. But yeah, let's just start here. So we've got the mask that looks like it's been taken off here. So for me, that's saying living authentically, living honestly. I think a lot of you are really trying to find a way to live more authentically, but you've been held back by fear for so long, and this is a new way for you to live your life. You know, it's scary to be vulnerable, but I think a lot of you are really leaning in that direction, that you want to try it anyway. You have live your dream. So I think a lot of you are really wanting to live your dream. I think this is suggesting that you live your dream, you go for it. You know, you don't hold back just because of fear. Because I think with the spider web, a lot of you have felt very, very stuck for a long time, and it's time to break out of that. You have adore here. So I do think that a lot of you have people who adore you, who surround you. You've got XOXO too, and you've got love here in the heart. So a lot of you you're surrounded by people that love you. I think that many of you might be looking to a romantic relationship to start, but otherwise none of these are only romantic. So I think a lot of you just need to turn to the people who love you and get their advice, and really kind of listen to what they have to say, because I think a lot of them are going to provide you with some valuable insights. You've got good luck here because you have the clover inside the horseshoe. So that's some really, really great luck coming your way. So I think you don't have to worry that things are going to work out terribly for you. Even if you can't see ahead and can't see what's coming, some really great things are coming to you. Try to be careful about protecting yourself too much, because we have the hedgehog here who can often be very cuddly, but when he feels threatened, he curls up into a ball and just spikes come out, you know? So I think a lot of you do kind of have that tendency where if you feel vulnerable, you close up and you kind of push people away. So just beware of your tendency to do that and try to let people in a little bit more. You have the moon and star here, so that has to do again with shooting for the moon, and just going for your dreams, you know, making sure that you're not holding back again out of fear, because the worst that can happen is you end up somewhere else, but it still can be really, really great. And I think you're often trying to plan ahead and say, oh, this is the only thing I want, but you might end up somewhere better than you expected as well. We have Cancer energy here, so many of you might be a Cancer zodiac sign or have someone important in your life who is a Cancer. Otherwise, Cancer is a very sensitive sign, very emotionally connected to their emotions. So I think this is saying that might be something you need to do right now, is connect further with your emotions. Let your heart lead the way some of the time. we've got this fairy here who's carrying something off. So I do think that you've got some additional help here. I feel like you've got some maybe magical kind of gifts coming your way. So I think a lot of you might be seeing some little signs and synchronicities. You might see kind of sparkles out of the corner of your eye that like redirect your attention to something, and just kind of try to take those as signs, or try to embrace opportunities that you hadn't noticed before that just popped up out of nowhere, and see where it leads. I think there's, you have nothing to lose, so try to kind of embrace that a little bit more. You have Lassie here, so that has to do with asking for help. So again, try not to be afraid to ask for help. It doesn't mean you're weak. It actually often shows your strength. You have the strength card here. So I think asking for help can be very valuable, because a lot of the time it's just hard to be objective when you're super close to the situation, and asking somebody else for their advice or their perspective can help you see things more objectively, and it often can even just help you clarify for yourself what's actually there and what is just kind of in your head. With the mixer here, that just has to do with kind of adjusting the recipe until it's perfect. So again, just changing the makeup of what's in your life, rebalancing and not being afraid to adjust if things are not working for you, because it's important for you to feel like you can move towards a better life, something more fulfilling, something that just feels better to you. There's a lot of energy here about protecting yourself when you don't necessarily need to, or just feeling this need to protect yourself, because we also have the turtle shell here too, but that also just has to do with taking things step by step, slow and steady. We have the Taj Mahal here, so that has to do with like a grand gesture of love or eternal love. So I think a lot of you do have somebody coming in, or you're wanting to show your love to someone. Maybe some of you are the type that really prove your love to somebody by working as hard as you can, almost to the point of burning out. But I think you need to start showing love to yourself as well. You have the crescent moon here, so that has to do with connecting with your intuition. Again, making sure that you're allowing your intuition to come through so that you can really figure out what you want and what is right for you. You have the palm trees here, so take a break. Make sure that you are doing that, because we have the octopus right next to it, which is juggling too many things at once, being overwhelmed, trying to be too many places at once, just having something in, having 10 things going on at once, and just letting that get to you and burn you out. You also have the ghost here, so I think a lot of things from your past are kind of coming back around. You might be feeling like you're going through the same lessons over and over, and you're wondering when it's going to end, or you're wondering when you're going to be able to move on from something. And then you have the sunflower here, which is very much like the sun card in tarot. So things will work out. Happiness is on its way to you, but just I think that you need to figure out where you need to make those adjustments and do so accordingly. So group 1, I hope that this resonated. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this, please like the video and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi group 2, so if you chose the button that says I like big books and I cannot lie, then this is your message. So we're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So yeah, let's just get you some general advice. So group 2, your tarot, you have the 4 of Wands, the 7 of Cups, and the 10 of Coins. Okay, so with the 4 of Wands and the 10 of Coins, a lot of the time those two together signify marriage or a long-term committed relationship to me. The 10 of Coins can represent like family and legacy in your home life. 4 of Wands can be like a milestone in relationships. This actually looks like a wedding is going on right here. But these can also just signify milestones in life in general. It doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. And with the 7 of Cups, I feel like a lot of you are trying to figure out what choice to make. You're feeling overwhelmed by choices. You might be feeling confused. You might be kind of sitting in the world of fantasy, wishing and hoping that you can have a life like such and such. And I think a lot of you are really dreaming of romantic relationships. Your ideal home life, what that could look like. Otherwise, just dreaming of the achievements that you want to, like the goals that you're wanting to achieve by a certain point in time, like what you want to see once you've looked back at your life. So I think a lot of you are very much in that kind of dreamy, fantastical relationship, maybe kind of wishing for something in particular, because this, I do believe, is Aladdin with the magic lamp. But I think you're trying to make sure that you make the right choice. I want to see what your oracle cards have to say, though. So you have library, take control of your own narrative, number 22. So I think this is a lot about like taking your power back. I feel like some of you maybe have been going about your life living it in a way that you feel you should be doing, maybe because other people have influenced you or because you just are putting that on yourself. But this is saying make sure that you're taking control of your life. You don't have to live it according to somebody else's standards for what a good life lived is. You know, you can make that choice for yourself. You have fairy lovers, new love, courtship, romance, falling in love, number 46. So yeah, for a lot of you, I do feel that there is a romantic relationship maybe happening for you right now. Maybe you just met somebody and that's kind of what's triggering this dreaminess about what your life could look like together. Maybe you're kind of embarking on the next step of a relationship, that you've like made things exclusive with somebody, or you're just kind of dreaming of that. You're wanting to manifest that kind of person coming into your life. But I think for most of you, I feel like this is probably focused on like a romantic relationship. So if that's not resonating with you, you might want to choose another pile just in case. But yeah, I feel like a lot of you really are in this kind of dreamy, like romantic energy right now. You might be reading a lot of kind of romantic stories or watching a lot of romance, listening to love songs, things like that. Just kind of trying to embrace that energy and bringing it into your life, or kind of just basking in it if you have that kind of a relationship in your life at the moment. You have friends and colleagues. So a lot of you might be like moving a friendship to the next level, or like moving a work colleague to the next level, like you're trying to get with somebody that you work with or that's in your friend group. But I feel like maybe that's why you're trying to figure out if this is the right choice or not, because this is going to affect more than just you. You know, this is going to affect your friend group or the dynamic of the people around you, or it's going to impact somebody else's feelings, something like that. But I feel like that might be why you're really trying to make the right choice here, and it's why you're kind of stewing about it and not just acting immediately. You have answering the call, the time is now. So I do feel like a lot of you are going to make this choice. I think that you know that there's a time limit on this and that you can't kind of do a back and forth forever and be indecisive forever. I feel like many of you might be, maybe someone actually asked you out, or you're trying to figure out if this is right for you and you're having to make that decision at the moment. So this is, yeah, I feel like this is saying that this has to be something you decide. You can't kind of leave it in limbo for too long, because I do feel like even though we don't have the hanged man or anything, I feel this energy of kind of a limbo period. I think just because you're trying to figure out whether you want to do maybe what someone else wants you to do, or if you're wanting to actually go for it and really fulfill what you want rather than what somebody else wants for you or what someone else is hoping for. Like maybe there's somebody else in this group who has feelings for the same person, or you just are trying to figure out if this is worth taking the risk on, like in case it changes the dynamic between this group of people that you're with, or even just between the two of you. If you've been friends for a while, you don't really want to ruin your friendship. But I feel like maybe you've crossed a line with this person. Maybe you've already had some romantic moments together, and you have to decide what to do from here on out. So I feel like a lot of you are in that period right now where you have to make a choice, like a yes or no right now. You have a time to give rather than take, new moon in Virgo. So I feel like a lot of you are maybe trying to figure out the logistics of this. If you kind of get with this person, how is it going to work? I think many of you feel kind of tied down or held back by circumstances at the moment, and you're really trying to get some details worked out as to how to make this work so that everybody's happy. I feel like a lot of you are very much givers, that you want to keep giving to people, and just make sure that you're getting that balance in there too. I think that might be something that you're considering, is can this be a balanced union as well? Like, will I get back what I'm putting in, and that kind of thing. But I think a lot of you are really wanting to make somebody else happy as well, but just make sure that you're making yourself happy within that. You have a spark, number 34. So, I mean, this can be like a passionate spark for like a hobby or something, because she is playing violin here, so it can be music related. But I think otherwise, this is that spark between you. So I do feel like a lot of you have either met someone new, or this is a new spark with somebody that you already know. So I think a lot of you are like igniting or reigniting a relationship, and you're trying to figure out what your next steps are. I think a lot of you are just really in this kind of love mode at the moment. I think you really want to make this happen, and you're just afraid of what the consequences might be. You have light in the unexpected, number 16. So, yeah, many of you might have been dealing with some really difficult times recently. I mean, a lot of people across the world have, but this might be like you've had something like a tower moment happen where something horrible and unexpected happened, and now you've got this relationship coming in, and it just feels like maybe it's too good to be true. Maybe that's why you're a little skeptical of it, or why you're trying to figure out if this can work, or what the right choice is, because maybe you don't fully trust this yet. And I think just give it time, and especially if you've been friends before, you know who this person is. So just make sure that you're not doubting it just because you're overthinking it. And then finally, you have friendship, number 23. So yeah, I do think for most of you, this is a friendship turning into something more, or like a relationship kind of died down into like a friendship level, and now you're trying to reignite that spark again. So I think that this friendship is giving you a really great solid base though for this relationship, because you already know each other, you trust each other, you care about each other. That's already been established. So now you just have to see, how can you make it work together? How can you merge your lives? How can you keep that spark alive? How can you make it fun and feel fresh and exciting? I think that that's where a lot of you are at the moment. But I want to get your charms for some extra information, some more detail. This is usually where we get the most detailed information. And we're using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation, or where to focus your attention, what you have the most control over, that kind of thing. So group 2, yeah, some general advice on your situation. Okay. So we did actually have a charm land in the heart, and then it went flying out when I dropped some more charms down. So it was this like satisfied cat here. So the fact that it kind of bounced out, I do wonder if maybe you were really happy and confident in this connection at first, and then now you're going, oh wait, now I'm in this, now what do I do? And I feel like there's definitely this energy of self-doubt and wondering if you've made the right decision, or maybe you're overthinking some little things and getting a little nitpicky about the other person, and you're trying to figure out if that means the spark is gone, or if that means you made the wrong choice, or if it's just like growing pains or getting used to someone new again. So I feel like there's definitely this kind of in and out energy a little bit, and not because you want it and then don't want it, but just this worry, this overthinking that's happening, because it's almost like you're trying to find something wrong with it because it's too good to be true, or it feels too good to be true. But I think you need to get yourself unstuck from this energy. I think whatever you're going through, or whatever has kind of been faltering, it's fixable. You definitely have the ability to fix it. I think you just need to kind of fix up, figure out the details and fix things up, kind of brush away anything that's not working, just kind of fix it up, dust it off, because you also have the broom here too. There's like a lot of energy of just kind of, cleaning up, fixing it up, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of really positive stuff here too. You have the number 15 here, so that could be a lucky number, a date that's significant. Number 15 is also the devil card, which it can represent toxic relationships, but I'm not seeing that. I feel like that might be a worry for you, but I think it's more about that kind of deep, physical connection, that physical passion, maybe a little bit of obsession, not in an unhealthy way, but that kind of new relationship energy where you can't get someone off your mind. That's kind of what I feel is going on right now. And we have the letter A, which could be an initial, or like of one or both of you. A word might come to mind, but I feel like I'm getting like just a lot of love energy here. I'm feeling like amorous is the word that's coming to mind. Like there's just this love in the air. You have sport, so I feel like maybe you met through a sport, or like through a group, like at work. Like I feel like if any of you have like sports leagues at work or something, you might have met that way. I feel like you're definitely trying to kind of keep things a little bit cool, or you have been doing that, or you were doing that for a long time, and then things kind of sparked from there. You have Libra energy here, so that's definitely positive for a relationship because that has to do with like relationship balance. And the adjective on the back is charming, so I feel like this person finds you charming, you find them charming. There's this underlying harmony to this relationship as well. I think you've got a lot of overflowing love for each other. That's definitely very prominent energy. This might be a soulmate because you have the infinity symbol, so that has to do with love over many lifetimes, just something that won't end. Maybe you've been through this loop before, you've been trying to get this off the ground and it's never gone anywhere. Because you also have the rocket ship, which has to do with getting something launched. So I feel like a lot of you really do want to launch this, or you've just launched it and you're wanting it to move into something more solid and more satisfying, something that can last a lifetime, or at least just for the long term. You've got a lot of like fruit here too, which is interesting because I don't have a ton of fruit charms, but you have the cherries, so that has to do with sweetness. There's some romance with cherries too, and kind of a little bit of like sexual energy as well. So I do feel like there's that physical connection between you as well, that you find each other very attractive. Summer could be significant for you as well with the watermelon. But I feel like, yeah, there's definitely this sweetness here. There's a lot of happiness and like an overwhelming happiness with this. But I feel like just beware of sabotaging it out of worry. I feel like that's really what you're kind of in this energy of like, oh, it's too good to be true. And you're wanting to kind of take back control over it again. Maybe that's what that take control of your own narrative card wasn't so much that that you've been controlled by people, but maybe being in love makes you feel out of control, because it makes a lot of us feel out of control, and that might be something that is making you uncomfortable, that you're wanting to really stay in control and keep your composure and not feel like you're at somebody else's mercy. You have the mask here, and it actually looks like the mask is still on. So I feel like a lot of you are really having trouble being totally vulnerable with this person and being open and honest and allowing yourself to just be seen for who you are and not seen for how you want to present yourself to the world. And we also have the egg cup here, so that has to do with, when you boil eggs or cook eggs, it's got a hard, thin shell on the outside. It's very fragile, but then once you put them in hot water, they cook on the inside and they harden. And I think a lot of you have kind of learned to harden your insides to kind of avoid getting hurt. So just be aware of that and maybe find ways to counteract that so that you can be open with this person and be vulnerable with them, because love requires vulnerability to connect. You have the peanut here too. So some of you might even be feeling like there's like you don't have enough to offer someone. Maybe that's why you feel it's too good to be true, because you're like over analyzing what you have given them and you're not rating it the same that they would. And so there's this kind of, maybe that's why we've got that a time to give rather than take card, is that you're really wanting to give them everything, but you don't have enough to give. So you're just, I feel like there's this desperation here with wanting to prove yourself to them, or wanting to even not prove that you're not good enough, but there's something here with just wanting to, like, I feel like there's this energy of self-sabotage even if you're not wanting to do that, but that keeps kind of, maybe that's the cycle you've been in for a long time. But I do think that a time of peace and tranquility is coming to you. You just have to cut out what doesn't work for you anymore. But yeah, we've got the mermaids back here, so I feel like there is this, like you two are like drawn to each other. There's this kind of allure that you feel towards the other person, but I think that there's this mystery between you two that neither one of you, I feel, is totally opening up all the way. I think there's this hesitancy that's coming through. But I think the two of you maybe need to just retreat from the world a little bit and get to know each other better. Just have it be just the two of you. You've got this cat kind of caught up in the wave there. So yeah, I feel like this cat totally looks haughty and a little bit skeptical of what's going on. I feel like cats, you have to kind of wait for them to come to you, and that's kind of the energy I'm getting from this one, is that maybe you two are both in this energy of wanting to wait for the other person to come to you, but then neither one of you was making the first move. You're just trying to ride the wave and kind of go with the flow here, but I think you both want to make it work for each other, so just know you have to both put in the work then for it to work. And then we have the volleyball player here too, so I feel like this makes me think of even like having something set up and getting ready to just make that move, because it looks like she's totally gonna, it looks like, I can't tell if she's spiking the ball or serving the ball, but she's like all set up to make that move. So I feel like that's the energy you're in right now, is you're ready to make that move. So just try not to sabotage things. I feel like you can trust the decisions you're making. And then you have the sun here. So I do feel like things are going to turn out well. It's just I feel like what's holding you back is this tendency to self-sabotage or doubt your worth or doubt somebody's like honesty towards you or doubt that somebody would choose you. This worry about like ruining things, I feel like is really coming up very strongly. So just keep that in mind, and I hope that this resonates for you, group 2. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Hi, group 3. So if you chose the button that says I'd rather be reading, then this is your message. We're going to start with your tarot and oracle and then do your charms at the end. So let's figure out what general advice the cards have for you today. So for your tarot, you have the Magician, Six of Swords, and Ace of Swords. So I feel like with the Six of Swords, you're definitely moving on from a difficult situation into calmer waters. I feel like you've probably been through some difficulties this year. I know everybody's been through a lot of difficulties, but right now I think you're finally able to make that transition. You might be right in the middle of that transition, but I think for a lot of you, this is coming because you've recognized your own power. You've recognized that you have the tools to change the situation and to make it into something better, and you're ready to use it, because with that Ace of Swords, that's clarity, that's personal power, that's like a clear decision. You're cutting away what doesn't work for you anymore, and you're making something happen. You're making a change. You're starting a new beginning. So let's see what your oracle cards have to say. So you have dragons, slay them all, number 6. So yeah, I love how you've got this sword here. This is also like the sword of truth is what the Ace of Swords is often referred to as. So I feel like you've definitely, I think that you are using your own truth, your personal power to cut down any obstacles in your path right now. And I love that she and the people in the Six of Swords are all facing in the same direction, like moving forward. I feel like you're definitely in this way of moving forward right now, that you're ready to actually make this happen. You're ready to make a change to your life. You're ready to take on whatever these obstacles are and get your life to a place that you want it to be, rather than feeling like you're at the mercy of universal forces or somebody else. You have Into the Woods, stranger in a strange land, new experiences, feeling uncertain, transition zone, and that's number 29. So yeah, you're definitely like embarking on this new era. I feel like you're definitely feeling a bit scared, a bit hesitant, but I think you're ready, that nothing can be worse than where you are or where you've been. So you're ready to take this new, like this first step into the unknown. This can be scary. I mean, a new experience is always scary, but I do think that you're ready to do this, even if you're feeling a bit uncertain about this. But there is this transition right now, and it's because you've found your personal power. You're definitely recognizing your own power in the situation, and you're able to use that to start to move forward. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. You have present power. So yeah, I feel like you definitely are recognizing how powerful of a being you are, because we've got this guy here with the tiger and the lion. So those are definitely cats of power and courage, and just feeling like you have the capability to do anything. So I feel like that's maybe the place that you're at right now. You might be feeling that way, and if you're not feeling that way, I think that you're maybe starting to recognize that you are able to do that. Maybe you're needing to kind of dig deeper to find that power that you have within you. But I think that embarking on a new journey is going to take digging deep and finding that power and moving forward even when you feel afraid or uncertain. But I think that you are going to achieve what you want to do. You have Fogged In, go slow, take time. So I think a lot of you maybe are like kind of in this air of like freaking yourself out a little bit, that you're in this mood of just like overthinking and feeling like you don't know what's coming. So you're starting to freak out and feeling like something's just going to come at you, out of nowhere. But just recognize that this is going to take time to achieve whatever you're setting out to do. And I think just taking it step by step, one stroke at a time, one step at a time, that's going to be how you get through it, because you can't see all the way ahead. It's foggy. You can only see like a foot in front of you. So just keep putting one foot in front of the other and keep going. I think that, but there's just definitely this energy of having the power to get through this. It's going to take time. So I think you have to be patient with yourself as well. So you actually got 3 Moonology cards, so I'll go over them as we pull them. But you have the energy is gaining momentum, waxing moon. So yeah, you're definitely gaining momentum. I think whatever this goal is that you have, you're feeling it build. I think that there's definitely this energy of maybe you're starting to see that you're making progress. And if you haven't seen that yet, I feel like you're kind of moving into that era of making progress. It's like as the moon is waxing, it goes from the new moon like moving towards the full moon. So I think that you're just at this point where you're seeing this crescent here, where it feels like you've only taken a few steps, but you've still moved forward. So I think you just, again, need to be patient with yourself and gentle with yourself and not try to rush the process, because it is changing. Things are transitioning, things are moving forward. Your hard work is paying off, new moon in Capricorn. Yeah, I think that you have been working hard. I think that you've got some big ambitions. You've got some big things that you want to achieve. And I feel like that's why you've made this decision to move forward, or you're in the process of making that decision to move forward. But whatever you've done so far, that hard work is paying off. If it's just that you've made the decision, that's starting this energy. You're starting to get that energy gaining momentum. If you've been on the path already, I think you might be seeing some of the results of your hard work so far. And then finally, you have a fiery climax approaches, full moon in Aries. So yeah, I think that you are kind of building up to some like grand battle, like this girl who's off to fight the dragons. I think that you are ready for that. You're starting to build up maybe your confidence as well. But I feel like you're gearing up for a fight is kind of what I'm getting. So whether that's like even just moving towards a promotion, or you're trying to change something, or you're recognizing that whatever you're moving into is going to be a lot harder than what you've dealt with in the past, but you're ready because that's going to bring you into the new life that you want. But I do feel like you are ready for this. Like even if you don't feel ready, just trust in your own personal power. That's really what I'm getting. You have slow and steady, number 12. So yeah, I think again, just take it slow, take it step by step. Recognize that each step is getting you closer to where you want to be. You don't have to rush this process. You don't have to try to push yourself too hard, or like force things to move more quickly than is natural. You can just keep that, like putting that work in, but I think that it is going to pay off and you will see the results, even if you aren't pushing so hard that it's just, I think pushing hard is not going to make this go any faster. I think it's just something that is going to take time to grow and to develop. So I think that maybe that's why you're feeling so uncertain about this too, that because it's happening so slowly, you can't see the change because it's so gradual, but I think once you have made it so many steps, you can look back and see how far you've come. So just, trust and believe that that day is coming. You have what's your honest truth, number 20. So I think a lot of you, yeah, that's kind of like I was saying about the Sword of Truth. Yeah, with the Ace of Swords and her like slaying the dragon there. I think you need to really get in touch with what your own personal truth is, and really connect with that, because I think maybe some of you have been shrinking yourself and not believing in your own power. And I think this is saying, you are powerful, you do have that ability, you just need to go for it. You need to do the work, put that work in, even if you don't trust yourself entirely. I think that this is this long process of learning to trust yourself and learning to really get in touch with your inner truth and make sure that you're living that out. Maybe some of you have been living a life. This is kind of a through line through all of these piles. I feel like there's always kind of a grand theme through all of these piles in my pick a cards, but I feel like there's definitely this energy of needing to move towards living a life that you want to live, something that feels more fulfilling and feels more like the life you want to live, not living someone else's ideal life, or just, treading water to get through each day and feeling unfulfilled, or just kind of blah about it, if that makes sense. I think that living your honest truth is really going to help you, like help propel you forward and help you feel like you're doing everything you can. You know, I feel like maybe that's been what's been going on, is that you've been just kind of treading water, maybe not doing your best, maybe just kind of sitting in this energy of, oh, this is what everyone else is doing, so that's all I'm going to do. And this is saying connect with your truth. If you feel like you're meant for something bigger or meant for something different, meant to take the hard path, that's what you have to do. So I think connecting with that is really important in this journey that you're on. And then for your love cards, you got 2 of them. So you have balance, number 35, and you have passion, number 14. So I think a lot of you are really concentrating on work right now, but I think this is saying balance that with love for people as well. Whether you're in a relationship, like a romantic relationship or not, I think just balancing your like work life with passion for other people, you know, excitement and fun and laughter, or it could be like passion with a romantic partner as well. But I just think in general, make sure that you're staying balanced. You know, passion is going to be important to propel you forward in this, because this can also just be passion for whatever your path is, whatever your life purpose is, your career, hobbies, whatever, whatever goal you're moving towards. But it's also, I think, just saying make sure that you're keeping that balance between like that fiery passion and pushing forward, and also patience, giving it time, you know, knowing when to push forward and knowing when to relax, knowing when to rest. Because I think a lot of you might even have trouble resting. I feel like a lot of you might be some all or nothing kinds of people, where when you get going on something, that momentum just kind of carries you through, and you have a hard time stopping when that momentum is going. You know, you have a hard time stopping and taking things slow. You might really just want to keep pushing until it's done. And this is just saying, take it a step at a time. You know, try to stay in balance. Try to just, you know, have that steadier, more stable progress rather than pushing it forward quickly and then having it collapse once you get to the end. But I want to get your charms now to figure out some more information, some more detail. This is usually where we get the most detail in the reading. So we are using the heart today to figure out what's in the heart of the situation. So maybe where you need to focus your energy or what the main point of this is. But yeah, group 3, let's get some general advice for you from the charms. Okay. So yeah, so you got a bunch of charms in the heart here. So I do feel like a lot of you are really, you have a lot going on. That's kind of the energy I'm getting, is you have a lot going on. So you have the word will. So from this, I'm getting a few different things. I think willpower is definitely important in this situation. I think that's going to be what carries you through. I think your willpower is going to propel you forward and get you to achieve whatever this goal is. And also, this is saying you will achieve it. I think a lot of you are questioning yourselves as to if you're ever going to get there. Maybe you've been working on it and you just feel like it's going so slowly you can't see any evidence of the work you've been putting in. But I think if you even look back right now, you'd recognize you are farther than you thought you were. You might not be moving as quickly as you thought you'd be going, or like you might feel like just day to day it doesn't seem to be getting you anywhere, but I think you will get there. It's just going to take some time. So again, you just have to take a step back, relax, slow down a little, because I'm noticing this particular pile, I think I'm talking faster than any of the other piles too. I'm just getting this energy of like needing to rush forward, you know? So I feel like there's this passionate energy, but I think sometimes you need to know when to pull it back a little bit and just relax and take it a little bit more slowly. You have the Knight here. So yeah, that's making me think of your card here about slaying the dragon. So I feel like you're definitely needing to just really fight for what you want. There's definitely movement happening. I think that for a while maybe you felt like no movement was happening, or like you really weren't getting anywhere, but there's definitely movement happening now. And you've got this other Knight coming out here too. So 2 Knights here makes me feel like, yeah, that's definitely like what your focus is really getting in there and battling, you know, fighting the good fight, doing like setting out to achieve your goals, you know, just pushing forward, making sure that you gear up and go for it. So I feel like, I think a lot of you are just really struggling to kind of keep that in balance. You know, when you get going, you just want to like go for it. I'm getting like more Knight of Swords, Knight of Wands energy, which is very like quick moving, you know, impulsive, passionate, fiery, but they have a hard time sometimes getting all the way there because they're so impulsive. They go for it and then they pull back once they lose that momentum. So just recognize that if you want to achieve this, you're going to have to take it a little bit more slowly so that you're making steadier progress and you're not like rushing it so it's not as stable. You have sense and sensibility coming out here. So yeah, with this story, there's two sisters and one of them is much more like made of sense, like much more logical and just kind of like stable, you know, not as driven by the heart. Like one's much more in her head and one is much more in her heart and leading from her heart and passionate. So I feel like that's kind of what's going on right now, is that you're needing to kind of balance those a bit in order to achieve it. I feel like a lot of you maybe have been kind of living in your head for a while. You've just been doing things the right way and you aren't satisfied by that anymore. So now you're trying to live with more passion, but because you're losing balance, it's making it hard for you to actually get all the way there. So this is saying balance both your head and heart, you know, make sure that you are using your passion to propel yourself forward, but that sense has to come in and you have to know when to take a break and when to take things slowly, you know, just make sure that that progress is a little bit more stable so that it's more sustainable. And then you have the shell purse here. So that often has to do with like worth, self-worth, kind of, I'm getting like, for some reason the phrase like having a trick up your sleeve is coming to my mind, even though that's not really usually the energy of this charm. But I'm getting like you've got some really unique gifts that you need to make use of, but I feel like sometimes you're valuing the wrong thing. Like you're valuing what you don't have over what you do. So make sure that you're making use of the gifts that you do have, because that's the magician. You have everything that you need to achieve whatever this goal is, but you just have to wield those tools correctly. You have to make sure that you're actually wielding them and that you're not out there searching for different tools than what you have. Make sure that you're using those things that you have at your disposal, because I think that will help you achieve your goals. I think many of you are doubting it will, but it will. You have the number 12 here. So that could be a significant date. December might come to mind for some of you. That might have been when something significant happened, or maybe that's going to be when a change happens. But otherwise, number 12 is the number of the Hanged Man card in tarot. So that's like changing your perspective, kind of a suspended moment, feeling like you're in limbo. So I feel like that's the energy you're getting out of right now. I feel like that's where you've been for a long time, where you felt like you're in limbo, and now you're like, you know what, I'm ready to move. Like I want to move forward. That's what I'm ready for. So I think that that's kind of the energy you're in right now. You might be getting some communication from some people. You might get some new information that's going to change things or going to help you figure out what direction to go in, or help you, like maybe a new tool or like something at your disposal will come in so that you can use that to really help you achieve your goals. I just feel like something is like on its way in right now. Like you're going to get some more info or like communication from somebody. We've got the flower here that's kind of in the bubble. So I feel like this is the energy of like putting someone on a pedestal. So if you're not doing that to somebody else, this could be just you expecting too much of yourself, like expecting that you can do anything, that you don't have to take a break, that you can push through and do things without sleeping or, you know, having rest or anything like that, that if you've got that momentum, you're expecting yourself to go all the way in like one fell swoop. And I think you just have to have more realistic standards for yourself and take a little bit more of a break when you're kind of doing this. You have X here. So I'm getting the energy of like X marks the spot. So like really, like it's like you have a treasure map and you know where you want to go, but you're not exactly sure where it is. So you're really trying to use every tool at your disposal to kind of find what you want to achieve, find that treasure. And I'm also feeling like an ex might be coming forward. That could be something significant for some of you, that an ex is in the picture. And if it's not like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, it could be like something that was in your life and is now coming back around. That's kind of the energy I get a lot of the time. But that can also just be an initial, or another word might come to mind for some of you, because the charms are often very personal for people as well. You have the seahorse. So yeah, that has to do with taking things slow and steady again, you know, making sure that you're not just pushing forward and trying to force things. It's just slow and steady. Sometimes you have to go with the flow. Yeah. And then with the thimble, that has to do with often protecting yourself when you don't necessarily need to. I think that's an energy you've been in, is feeling like you have to kind of hide your gifts even. And you kind of do that all or nothing, where you either aren't doing anything, you're kind of closed off to the world, or you're just blazing forward with no protection, no plan, and you just like head for it. So I think trying to find some more balance and meet that like a little bit more in the middle will help you achieve your goals. I think whatever you're trying to set out to achieve is something that you've been wishing for, maybe something you've been wanting to do for a long time since you were a kid or something. You have the moon here too, so I feel like there's definitely this kind of dreamy energy. I feel like fears kind of come up and like twist into illusions a little bit, because that's giving me that Into the Woods vibe as well, like the uncertainty and worry that comes up when you're not really able to see that far ahead. But it's also, you might be getting some insights and stuff in your dreams as well, because it's very intuitive energy. So I think following your intuition will also kind of help you like trust in yourself too. You have sing, so music might help you with your manifestations as well. Some of you might be trying to achieve something music related, but otherwise I feel like a lot of you might just benefit from like motivational music, like singing along with something, or putting on a playlist and really using that to motivate you to move forward, especially when things are feeling very slow and stagnant. We've got this coffee drink here, so that's talking about treating yourself, making sure that you're doing little things to just like give yourself little rewards to kind of keep yourself motivated as well. And then you have the heart with the rose in it. So that always gives me a little bit of a Beauty and the Beast vibe. So I'm just feeling like that might resonate with some of you. Like there might be a Beauty and the Beast connection here. Some of you might want to listen to the soundtrack to Beauty and the Beast as well too. But I feel like overall that just has to do with recognizing the unique gifts within yourself. Like even if you're not seeing things on the outside, you've got this inner beauty and this inner gift that I think you're really yearning to share with the world, but it's going to take time to build it up and to develop it. So just trust in that and give it that time that it needs. Don't push too hard to try to make it go faster than is organic for it. So group 3, I hope that this resonates. I would love to hear if it does, so please leave me a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel if you've not already done so. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.